Yikes. Things are escalating now beyond a point where uh, it's very uncomfortable. Trump is under immense pressure now from a lot of people, including Dave Smith, who's called for him to be impeached and removed over his alleged involvement with this Israeli strike. I am not, uh, you know, I'm trying to wait, trying to have, more information come out, but it certainly isn't awesome looking. Just into, by the way, Bibi Netanyahu has said he is not interested in any peace talks with Iran per ABC. He's also refusing to rule out taking out the supreme leader of Iran. This comes after news that the Iranian regime is asking to come back to the table. Now, Nick Soder writes, President Trump is under a tremendous amount of pressure to get involved. Pray for his strength to resist. There seems to be a lot of people, a lot of shills out there that keep saying, oh, well, Trump's got to get involved. There's a lot of those, people that make a lot of money on posting on X. I won't name names, but there seems to be like this coordinated, push for Trump to get involved. I do not want him to get involved. Look, if Iran wants to take, or if Israel wants to take out Iran, I guess not my people, not my fight. But I'm getting less confident that Trump isn't, pulling. We're getting conflicting reports. Like Israel keeps trying to suck us into this and say Trump's involved, Trump's signing this and off, Trump's saying he's not. I don't know what to believe. Let's look at what Dave Smith had to say here. By the way, we are expanding our facility at Coffee Brand Coffee, and 3 or 4 times a year we do these special drops to help generate funds for that. This is our summer legendary pack. It's a construction theme. It includes Kona, which is extremely difficult to get and extremely expensive. It's $50 a pound for unroasted beans, basically. Also, brand new flavor Tiger's Blood, which is my all-time flavor that we've ever made. You're going to love it. And Blue Blackberry Cobbler. And a challenge coin specific for this. And a signed thank you letter for me. There's only 2,000 available. I haven't emailed my list yet. I know once I do, most of them will probably sell. So I'll put a link. You can go to coffeebrandcoffee.com/summer or use the link in the description below. Let's listen to what Dave Smith had to say. Some pretty bold words.
It was in 2007 that the Pentagon told George W. Bush that we cannot go to war with Iran because we do not have escalation dominance against them, essentially meaning that they can hit all of our bases and embassies in the region, and we are very vulnerable to them. And we've already seen demonstrated since the Israeli attack that the Iranian the missiles that they sent last year toward Israel, as many of us guessed, that wasn't really their best. They were intentionally making an attack that wouldn't really hurt anybody.
Yeah, we knew that. And they sent all these slow-moving drones and stuff like that. It's just a show, for their own people. I disagree with Dave on the fact of not having. Well, he's not saying they don't now, but I think Iran has been pretty depleted by the Israeli strikes. That said, Iran does have allies.
That wouldn't really lead to a war, which Iran has done over and over again. But now we've pushed them to the point where they probably don't feel that they have the option not to respond. And Donald Trump telling them to come back to the negotiating table now is a joke.
Yeah.
What a impotent leader to be sitting there talking about coming back to the negotiating table. It's like sitting after Pearl Harbor and telling FDR, now's the time to go negotiate with the Japanese.
Right.
Negotiations are over now. The time.
Well, yeah, I would say I would agree with that. I wouldn't call Trump an impotent leader. I wouldn't go that far. But yeah, the idea that Iran would come back to the negotiating table seems unlikely. But that does fly in direct conflict to most recent reports. Recent reports say that Iran does, in fact, want to come back to the negotiating table. Even as just minutes ago, one of their news outlets was struck by the IDF while it was live on air. We'll take a look at that video too. By the way, there's a lot of people in Congress that want to go to war with Iran. That's what Trump's kind of, that's the uphill battle for him.
time for negotiations was before this. And so, yeah, Donald Trump looks, and man, I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation.
Wow.
At the time, it seemed like the right one. But he should be impeached and removed for this one, and not on some like not on.
Impeached and removed. That is very. I mean, Dave may be having a little bit of a melty here. I still want to see some more information on, connecting Trump directly to these strikes in Israel.
Some ridiculous Nancy Pelosi. Of course, the Congress will never do it because they're all a bunch of, corrupt hacks.
This is the one thing they support. This is like
Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for. And I will say, despite the fact that, Donald Trump supporters have been labeled like a cult following, and that certainly is true for a percentage of his supporters, he is going to lose his coalition over this. I know I don't just speak for myself when I say there are a lot of us who simply will not go along with this. So it's just a devastating mistake. By the way, on top of that, he's also going to lose the deportation fight because of this. Because right now he needed all the political capital he could have to turn that, you got a majority support for deportations, but the minority is very mobilized and they're out and they're protesting all around the country. He needed all of his political capital for that move. So here's what we got. The neocons win. More war abroad and, bomb the world and invite the world. No matter who you vote for, you always get John McCain.
I mean, yeah, he sounds pretty disappointed. There's also a pretty interesting thing. We just sent a destroyer over there, which was set to be decommissioned next year. They're sending a carrier that's scheduled to be decommissioned next year. People are concerned that there may be some sort of operation. There's concern. Luke Radowski talked about, the Gulf of Tonkin. There is some serious concerns here now that we have, assets in the area. It's not good. It creates another target for people. Like that's what they're saying. Oh, well, this is probably going to get sunk, and here we go. It's absolutely crazy to me. Crazy. I mean, it's like, you see, according to Netanyahu and other sources, Trump had full prior knowledge of Israel's attack and gave it his blessing while pretending to be negotiating with the Iranians as cover. That's what Israel has said. Isn't it possible that Bibi is lying, that he's doing what he does and trying to suck America into this war? If this is true, then the U.S. is already at war with Iran, as we facilitated an aggressive sneak attack by our proxy with our weapons. Tucker Carlson, who I trust a heck of a lot more than Netanyahu, told Steve Bannon that he knows for a fact that this isn't true. He claims that Witkoff and Trump were negotiating in good faith and wanted to avoid this war and reach an agreement. If this is true, Trump is the most impotent bee of a leader imaginable. He's allowing one side of a war who clearly wants to drag us in to lie about our involvement while not correcting the record. Either way, Trump has betrayed MAGA on every principle of his America First. He's no longer worthy of our support. He probably never was. This is a legendary. This is a pretty legendary melty. You kind of have to pick a side. Either you don't trust Bibi Netanyahu or you do trust Bibi Netanyahu, because Bibi has said, everyone's saying, well, I don't trust him. Well, then why would you trust him when he said that Trump knew about this or that? We also have obviously video captures of an IDF strike during this is like their state media, their propaganda arm. I'm supposed to let women on TV there. Well, anyway. People are saying this is fake. It's not fake. It's unless Iran did it. There's lots of pictures There's lots of pictures of the outside of this building. It absolutely looks real to me. Obviously, if Iran did it as like some sort of, false thing, well, I don't know how okay, maybe. You see Dave Smith is trending because he's going full anti-Trump. To me, I would like to see Trump be more, come out and really address this. Lane Kendall wrote, Dave Smith, can you believe Trump is telling Iran to come back to the negotiating table? What a joke. What an impotent leader. Iran, you dudes, maybe you might want to come back to negotiate. We're not doing so. Chill. You see, a battered Iran signals it wants to de-escalate hostilities with Israel and negotiate. This was just this afternoon. So, I mean, Iran does want to negotiate. Netanyahu doesn't want to negotiate, and he wants to drag America into it because they want to get through and do another regime change. Has that literally ever worked out? Please, please, Trump, come out and disavow and you need to disavow what Bibi Netanyahu's doing. If he really doesn't want to come to the negotiating table, if he refuses, then this is no longer Israel defending themselves. This is very, very bad. Trump is under immense pressure. I really, really hope he resists it. Do not redeem it, Trump.